Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be continuing watching the collected Miscellany playlist from Genshin Impact. This is part 4, so we've already watched about 30 or so. So in today's video, we'll watch another 10 and just see how awesome they are. So with that being said, if you're new, don't forget to hit that sub button for more reaction content, please and thank you. And if you want to, you're more than welcome to come join me on Twitch. I'll be sure to put my link in the description down below if you want to come hang out with me over there. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Okay, this one is for Kamisato Yato.
Is a tangled web of powerful factions where vested interests and hidden agendas lurk beneath the surface. For someone to not only rise to the top in this environment, but also maintain stability, they must be exceptionally shrewd and highly skilled.
Oh, okay.
Anyone who hopes to meet the man at the top would be wise to first make sure that they know exactly whose side they're on.
What's that?
All right.
Join you for a walk?
I don't have this character.
Kamisato Ayato is the Yashiro
They look pretty awesome, though. I'm not gonna
As
lie.
heir to his clan, he has trained for this role all his life, including in the martial arts. His fighting style
his like
channels the
outfit
power of
is pretty
Hydro through
dope.
the forms of Kamisato art. A strong current hides beneath the tranquil surface, ready to overwhelm his foes like a flash flood. To the clan leader whose every meal is prepared for him by his staff, cooking is not a necessity, but a pastime. When Kamisato Ayato cooks a perfect dish, he has a chance to obtain a suspicious dish of the same kind.
Okay, okay. I think there was another character that was
Kamisato
really
Ayato's
similar to
normal
that,
attack can combo up to
if not
5
the same.
slashes, dealing physical damage. His charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to charge forward and perform the EI technique, dealing physical damage.
Okay.
Tap his elemental skill to shift positions and enter the Takemiguri Kanka state.
Ooh. Okay, that looks cool.
After this shift, a watery illusion forms in Ayato's original position. After forming,
Okay, that's sick.
the watery illusion will explode if enemies are near or when its duration ends, dealing AoE hydro damage. While
Okay,
in the
see, that's
Takemiguri
pretty
Kanka
cool.
state, Ayato unleashes rapid Shinsuiken attacks, converting his normal attack damage into AoE hydro damage that cannot be overridden.
Okay, I think I need this character.
After a Shinsuiken attack hits an enemy, Ayato receives the Namisen effect, which increases Shinsuiken attack damage based on his current max HP.
Oh man, that's awesome.
The maximum number of Namisen stacks starts at 4. Stacks can be gained via Shinsuiken attacks once per set time period, and disappear when the Takemiguri Kanka state ends. Also, while in the Takemiguri Kanka state,
Ooh, what
Ayato's
boss is
resistance to interruption
this?
is increased, but he cannot perform charged or plunging attacks.
Okay, this boss looks
After
awesome.
unlocking the talent Mineo Matoishi Kiyotaki, Ayato receives 2 Namisen stacks immediately after casting his elemental skill. And when the watery illusion explodes, Ayato gains a Namisen effect equivalent to the maximum number of stacks.
Okay.
Suiyu!
When Ayato unleashes his elemental burst, he unveils a garden of purity that silences the cacophony within. While this space exists, bloom water blades rain down continuously, attacking enemies within range and dealing hydro damage. The normal attack damage of characters within this space is also increased.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ripples on water destroy the immaculate face of the moon in its midst, but it regains its composure the moment after they pass. After unlocking the talent Michiyuku Hagetsu, when Ayato is not on the field, if his elemental energy is below a certain threshold, he continuously regains energy.
Oh, okay, that's cool though.
Kamisato
That's cool.
Ayato keeps a low profile and rarely shows his true talents, but when those lured into a false sense of security seek to move against him, he is only too happy to deal with them himself.
Oh.
The Shinsuiken is Ayato's main means of attack. During battle, Ayato coordinates with his teammates to produce hydro-based elemental reactions and take down groups of enemies with a barrage of Shinsuiken strikes to gain the upper hand. When energy is full, Ayato unleashes his elemental burst, unveiling a garden of purity, which increases party members' normal attack damage and sets the stage
now that
for
is
further
super
elemental
sick.
reactions to flush out any final remnants.
Okay.
Many years ago,
I really
the
need this
Yashiro
character.
Commission faced upheaval for their transgressions. The Kamisato clan survives today because they found favor in the eyes of a god, but they bear an eternal obligation to be guardians of the divine.
Ooh, that looks
If you
cool.
ask the head of the Kamisato clan what he truly holds sacred, I dare say the will of the gods would not be his answer.
Oh.
And so, though Kamisato Ayato appears to handle his affairs with consummate ease, when all is said and done, he is simply an ordinary soul caught between the divine and the mundane. If there comes a day when the instruction of the gods conflicts with that which he has sworn to protect, how then will he preserve his delicately maintained stability?
Oh, dude. Okay. First video, amazing. That character's awesome. Okay, this one's for Elaine.
In the
Who's
business of
awesome.
national
Elaine's
security,
a really
the
awesome
public eye
character.
poses many restrictions. While trouble brews in the shadows, it helps to bring in special talent. Someone who can move freely between different circles, covering their tracks as they go. But be warned, this kind of collaboration could cost you, so make sure it's worth the price.
Who's our target?
Yes.
Yelan is a master of the bow, whose hydrovision takes her
Yelan?
abilities to
I'm
new
saying it
heights.
wrong? I'm sure I have been.
Stronger and more daring than most, she thrives in dangerous situations, leading her enemies slowly but surely into her trap. For Yelan, staying alert to new intel of all
Yelan,
kinds
yeah.
is second nature. Wherever she goes, whatever she does, she always returns with a wealth of resources. When Yelan is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Liu, she will obtain increased rewards.
Okay, okay.
Yelan's
Then this
normal
is similar
attack
to a
can
few
combo up
others,
to
I
4
believe.
consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. Holding the attack button executes a more precise shot that deals increased damage. While aiming, flowing water accumulates on the arrowhead. A fully charged arrow deals hydro damage on hit. After leaving combat for a short time, Yelan gains the breakthrough effect, which greatly decreases the charge time of her next aimed shot, and fires a breakthrough barb at full charge.
Okay,
The breakthrough
okay.
barb deals AoE hydro damage that scales based on Yelan's max HP. When she casts her elemental skill, Yelan moves rapidly using her lifeline, latching onto and marking enemies as she goes. Tapping and holding the skill produce different effects.
Okay, I did not know that.
When tapped, Yelan rapidly dashes forward a short distance. While held, Yelan remains in a rapid movement state and gains increased resistance to interruption while in that state.
That's awesome.
During this time, Yelan can control the direction she sprints in and can cast the skill again to exit the rapid
Oh,
movement state.
dude, that
Using
is
this
awesome.
skill, she can quickly approach groups of enemies while easily avoiding some of their attacks. Furthermore, it helps her explore the surrounding terrain more rapidly.
Oh.
When rapid
See,
movement
man,
ends,
that's why I
Lifeline
love Saw
will
You so
explode
much.
and deal hydro damage to marked enemies.
Because there's
based on
ability
Yelan's
where you can
max
just
HP.
roll and it's so much better for
Also,
exploration.
when Lifeline explodes, the number of enemies marked affects her chance to gain the breakthrough effect. The more enemies marked, the higher the chance to gain the effect.
Game's up. Fun's over.
When Yelan unleashes her elemental burst, she deals AoE hydro damage to nearby enemies and creates an exquisite throw to assist in battle. Exquisite throw follows the active character, and when they perform a normal attack, or Yelan's lifeline explodes and hits an enemy, Exquisite throw will join in the attack, dealing hydro damage based on Yelan's max HP.
Nice.
After unlocking the talent Adapt with Ease, the active character's damage dealt gradually increases while Exquisite Throw is present. If the Elemental Burst is cast again while this effect is active, the effect will be cleared. Before the fun of guessing the enemy's next move begins, Yelan inspects her hand and tallies up her strengths. After unlocking the talent Turn Control, Yelan's max HP is increased, based on the number of elemental types in the party. The more elemental types, the greater the increase.
Man, that is so sick.
Wherever there is intrigue, Yelan is in the background, quietly weaving her web. By the time her prey notices, it's already too late. In battle, Yelan likes to open with her breakthrough bar. Before using her elemental skill to approach nearby enemies, she ensnares her targets with lifeline, then lets it explode and deal damage. After the explosion, if she has the breakthrough effect, Yelan may follow up with another breakthrough bomb to inflict further damage.
Dang, okay.
When energy is full, Yelan unleashes her elemental burst to create an exquisite throw, providing hydro damage and a damage boost, so the team can round up the remaining foes. Fate is a cruel and perilous thing. It bodes only ill lurking in dark places like the chasm. To me, that place is the epitome of human misfortune. People died there, far from their homes. People with hopes and dreams, dutiful to the bitter end. Different motivations resulted in the same tragic conclusion.
Oh,
People
man.
ought to fear disaster, unless they can learn to draw strength from their fear. Perhaps Yelan is just such a unique case. Undeterred by fate's cruel design, there is no path she will not go down in the pursuit of secrets. But what if, one day, she descends into a place from which there is no escape?
Oh,
I
no.
am curious, by which of her many sides would she see herself be remembered?
Oh, man. Okay. That one was amazing. I mean, just awesome. Okay, this one is for Kuki
You
Shinobu.
may be forgiven for wondering how an organization as chaotic as the Arataki Gang has managed to survive as long as it has, despite the near-daily conflict they stir up and frequent stints in jail. Somehow, the fallout of their antics is successfully contained time and again. Luckily for them, the Arataki Gang does have one member who actually has their head screwed on.
Nice.
Don't tell me they did it again.
Kuki Shinobu doesn't go looking for trouble, but it always finds its way to her via the company she keeps. This gives her a wealth of experience in cleaning up after others.
She just
No
looks so
matter how
awesome,
tricky
too.
things get, Shinobu is always able to help her friends out of a tight spot with the aid of her electrovision, deftly diffusing the situation every time. If there were qualifications for expedition expertise, Kuki Shinobu would likely be certified at the highest level. When Kuki Shinobu is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Inazuma, she will obtain
Shinobu.
increased
Oh, my bad.
rewards.
Okay.
Kuki Shinobu's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies.
Oh.
Her charged attack consumes a certain amount of stamina to perform 2 swift strikes to the front, dealing physical damage. When she casts her elemental skill, Shinobu consumes some HP to create a ring of sanctification, dealing
Okay.
electro damage to surrounding enemies. The ring of sanctification follows the active character and periodically deals electro damage to nearby enemies, while also healing active characters nearby. The healing amount scales with Shinobu's max HP. HP consumed by her elemental skill will not decrease her HP lower than a certain level.
Oh, okay. Okay.
After unlocking the talent
I mean, I
Breaking
guess that
Free,
makes sense, you know.
when Kuki Shinobu's HP is low, she will gain an increased healing
I
bonus.
see that.
Though the Arataki Gang causes her no end of trouble, it's the one place Kuki Shinobu has the freedom to be herself. After unlocking the talent Heart's Repose, the healing effect and damage dealt by Sanctifying Ring will increase, based on Shinobu's elemental mastery.
I'll settle this.
When Shinobu unleashes her elemental burst, she stabs her blade into the ground, creating a field that
That
excoriates
is just
evil.
so sick.
This field deals continuous electro damage, based on Shinobu's max HP.
Ooh, took the whole shield out.
When she casts her elemental burst, if Shinobu's HP is low, the field will last longer.
Oh.
Kuki Shinobu is uncertain of the criteria for obtaining a vision, but that doesn't stop her from taking full advantage of its power. In combat, Shinobu supports her teammates by using her elemental skill to create a ring of sanctification. Besides healing nearby active characters, the ring also creates ideal conditions for elemental reactions, allowing her teammates to easily gain the upper hand. When energy is full, Shinobu unleashes her elemental burst, creating a cleansing field that deals continuous electro damage to enemies in its AoE, paving the way to a decisive victory. To most, The world provides boundless possibilities, and people are free to make their own choices as long as they are ready to accept the consequences. Fortunately, Kuki Shinobu is a talented individual, and the troubles stirred up by the Arataki gang are a price worth paying for her freedom. To thank Kujo Sara for an introduction, Shinobu once treated her to drinks at Uyu Restaurant. I doubt that the Tenryo Commission General could have ever imagined a throwaway comment she made over drinks with her friend would end up ensuring the longevity of the Arataki gang, cementing their place as a thorn in her side for years to come.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one, man. That was a good one. Okay, this one is for
Technically speaking,
Heizo.
The Tenryo Commission has no formal
Heizu?
position called detective. However, formal or not, Doshin Shikanoin is indisputably the Commission's top sleuth. And every co-worker and criminal he has ever met has come to refer to him as that famous detective. Even the most rigid of rules will bend to accommodate extraordinary talent. And so the young prodigy detective's reputation only continues to grow.
I'm on the case.
Heizo prefers to avoid physical
Heizo,
combat
okay.
and prides himself on winning battles with his intellect. However, even he admits that sometimes the martial arts skills that his father made him learn are vital when defending himself in the pursuit of justice.
Very nice.
Although cracking cases is a detective's core duty, Heizo believes his true calling lies in preventing would-be criminals from ever committing crimes in the first place. When Shikanoin Heizo is in the party, he reduces sprinting stamina consumption
Oh,
for your
that
own
is
party
so
members,
useful.
making exploration faster.
So useful.
Heizo's normal attack performs up to 5 strikes that deal anemo damage.
Okay.
His charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to perform a sweeping kick, dealing anemo damage. Tap Heizo's elemental skill to wield the swift winds and launch a powerful strike that deals anemo damage. Holding the skill charges energy and allows Heizo to obtain up to 4 stacks of the declension effect.
Okay, that
which
is super
increases
cool.
the power of the next elemental skill. When the
Dang.
skill button is released or the skill finishes charging, Heizo strikes forward, dealing
Okay,
anemo
that is
damage.
cool. That is cool, man.
When Heizo possesses 4 declension stacks, the conviction effect is produced, further increasing the damage and AoE of the next
Like
elemental
over
skill.
double, it looked like.
After unlocking the talent's paradoxical practice, Shikanoin Heizo will gain 1 declension stack when he triggers a swirl reaction on the field. This effect can only be gained once per short period. Strategic use of this effect allows Heizo to quickly gain declension stacks and increase the power of the elemental skill. Sharp investigative instincts enable Heizo to quickly pinpoint the motive and method behind a crime. His sheer brilliance means that many aspire to one day partner with him on a case.
Okay.
When the talent penetrative reasoning is unlocked, after Heizo's elemental skill hits an opponent, the elemental mastery of all other party members is increased for a limited time.
Confess!
When Heizo unleashes his elemental burst, he leaps into the air and kicks the
Oh, okay,
Fudo-style
that's
vacuum
sick.
slugger towards the
That's
enemy.
sick.
The vacuum slugger explodes on hit, creating a wind tunnel that pulls in nearby objects and opponents and deals AoE anemo damage. When vacuum slugger hits enemies affected by hydro, pyro, cryo, or electro, it afflicts them with Windmuster Iris. Moments later, Windmuster Iris explodes and dissipates, dealing AoE damage of the corresponding elemental type. Vacuum Slugger can afflict a maximum of 4 enemies with the Windmuster Iris. A single enemy cannot be affected by irises of different elemental types at the same time.
Okay.
Though Shikanoin Heizo always chooses brains over brawn, he is nimble and well-practiced in the martial arts of his clan. This, plus his keen sense of battle judgment, makes him more competent at close-quarters combat than most imagine. In battle, the elemental skill is Heizo's main means of attack. Smart offensive allows him to rack up declension stacks and unleash a more powerful elemental skill. When energy is full, Heizo unleashes his elemental burst and uses the vacuum slugger to deal anemo damage. By effectively coordinating with his teammates, Heizo can afflict enemies with the Windbuster Iris, lowering their defenses while assisting his allies.
Oh, man. Yeah, this character's pretty awesome.
For most detectives, finding the truth is the end goal of every case. Once the file is closed and the criminal brought to justice, the satisfied sleuth sits back and congratulates
okay.
themselves
I like the
on a
inside
job
of that.
well done. But even a job well done is not enough for Hazo. Finding the truth is good, but finding a way to dissuade criminals in the first place is even better. If it were anyone else, I would laugh off their delusions of grandeur. Surely no single detective could hope to reduce crime through the sheer weight of their reputation. And yet, in the case of Shikanoin Hazo, I find myself entertaining a faint and uncharacteristic sense of optimism. With that said, it is a pity that a detective of his caliber was unavailable to take on the case of the deicide of the God of Contracts.
Oh. That was awesome, dude. Okay, that was awesome. Okay, this one is for Tighnari.
Compared to ferocious beasts, it's hard to imagine placid plants ever posing a serious threat to humans. But deep within the sprawling forest where the vegetation grows unchecked, there is no telling what dangers may lurk within. So never underestimate the rainforest, for life is a formidable force.
Ooh.
If you're hoping to pass through the Avidia forest without incident, you would be wise to heed the stern warnings of the Forest Watcher.
I'll lead the way.
All right.
Tighnari believes that the best thing to do with knowledge is to utilize it effectively in everyday life. Applying his botanical expertise in the use of his dendrovision has helped him to both advance his research and protect the rainforest's ecosystem.
This is one of the pretty, like, areas yet. I like this.
To be an effective forest watcher requires a keen, observant pair of eyes. When Tighnari is in your party, the location of resources unique to Sumeru will appear on your minimap, making it easier to gather supplies. Tighnari's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage.
Okay, here we go. Let's see
With
some
a charged
skills.
attack, Tighnari executes a more precise, aimed shot that deals increased damage. The shot has different effects depending on how long the charging lasts. At charge level 1, Tighnari fires a dendro-infused arrow that deals dendro damage. At charge level 2, Tighnari fires a wreath arrow that deals dendro damage. After hitting its target, several cluster bloom arrows are generated that will auto-target nearby enemies and deal further dendro damage.
Okay, that was
When
cool.
the talent Keen Sight is unlocked, after Tighnari fires a wreath arrow, his elemental mastery will be increased for a limited time.
Oh,
Tighnari's elemental skill throws a Vijnana Stormheart ahead of him that deals AoE dendro damage.
What is that?
And
Oh,
creates
okay.
a Vijnana Khanda field, which summons
Dang.
strange illusions to taunt enemies and draw their fire.
okay, that's pretty sick, though.
Also, Tighnari gains the Vijnana Suffusion effect.
It, like, distracts
that
them and it
decreases
does
the
AoE
charging
damage?
time of the next wreath arrow. This effect will dissipate once the duration ends, or after Tighnari has fired a certain number of wreath arrows.
Oh,
I'll uproot you.
When Tighnari unleashes his elemental burst, he harnesses the power of germination and fires 6 Tanglevine tendrils that automatically target enemies and deal dendro damage. After the Tanglevine tendrils hit their target, a second wave of tendrils is produced that also auto-target enemies and deal dendro damage. After studying the properties of a diverse range of plants, Tighnari gained a wealth of new insight into dendro-infused arrows. After unlocking the talent Scholarly Blade, for every point of elemental mastery Tighnari possesses, his charged attack and elemental burst damage are increased. Damage can only be increased up to a certain limit. Poorly prepared hikers and fierce monsters are constant troubles in the rainforest. An earnest, informative lecture is sufficient to deal with the former. But in the case of the latter, Tighnari shows no mercy. During battle, Tighnari first used his elemental skill to create a Vijnana Khanda field to taunt enemies and obtain the Vijnana Suffusion effect.
okay, yeah, this character is not bad at all.
From a safe vantage point, he can now quickly charge and fire wreath arrows to deal dendro damage to enemies. When energy is full, Tighnari unleashes his elemental burst, firing Tanglevine tendrils that pursue enemies. 2 waves of Tanglevines will home in on enemies to root out the problem at the source. Even as I speak, strange events that I cannot comprehend are unfolding in Sumeru City. Fortunately for Tainari, though he lacks knowledge of the full situation, his intuition has saved him from becoming entangled in it. In
Okay.
Tainari's opinion, however profound and esoteric knowledge may be, it does not equal virtue. Elitism and deceit can lead to no good. Ironically, the academia sages who manage knowledge neither comprehend the true meaning of knowledge, nor understand the yearnings of the human heart. Though Tainari has rejected them several times, still their pleas come time after time to his door.
Ooh, I really like the way it
Let's
looks.
see just where exactly the path of stubbornness and ignorance will lead them in the future.
Okay, that was awesome. Okay, this one is for Kali.
Some time ago, the forest rangers of Gandharvaville welcomed a new trainee to their ranks. She's a warm-hearted girl with a radiant smile, always ready to help a forest trekker in need. Like the hardiest plants in the forest, her will to live runs deep, seemingly unbreakable despite the traumas of the past.
Trainee Forest Ranger Kale, reporting.
Mondstadt gave Kale an opportunity to turn
Kale,
things
my bad.
around.
I pronounced
And
most
now
of these
Sumeru
wrong, and I
provides her with a place
apologize.
to grow. Here, she will support those around her with her newly acquired power of Dendro. Good things come to those who are willing to work toward their dreams. When Kale is in the party, she reduces gliding stamina consumption for your own party members, making
That
exploration
is so,
faster.
so useful.
Kale's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive
Ooh,
shots, dealing
okay, I
physical
like that.
damage.
I like that.
With a charged attack, Kale executes a more precise aimed shot that deals increased damage. While aiming, Dendro energy accumulates on the arrowhead. A fully charged arrow will deal Dendro damage. Kale's elemental skill throws a floral ring that deals 1 bout of Dendro
That's
damage
so cool.
to each target it hits. The floral ring will return after a set time, dealing further Dendro damage on the way back. After unlocking the talent Floral Sidewinder, if one of your own party members triggers a Burning, Quicken, Aggravate, Spread, Bloom, Hyperbloom, or Burgeon reaction before the floral ring returns, the floral ring will grant the character the Sprout effect on its return. The Sprout effect deals Dendro damage to nearby enemies for a set time based on Kale's attack. If the Sprout effect is triggered again before it expires, the initial effect will be removed.
Kolinamba, help!
Kale's elemental burst brings her trusty assistant, Kalinanba, into the battle.
Okay.
Causing an explosion
Okay, I like
deals
that.
AoE Dendro damage and creates a Kalinamba zone. Kalinamba bounds around within the zone, dealing further AoE Dendro damage. Plant life thrives in the Sumeru forests, like the hope rejuvenated in Kale's life. After unlocking the talent The Languid Wood, when a character in the Kalinanba zone triggers a Burning, Quicken, Aggravate, Spread, Bloom, Hyperbloom, or Burgeon reaction, the zone's duration will be extended. A given Kalinanba zone's duration may only be extended in this way by up to a limited amount. The time that Kale once spent on the run taught her a wealth of survival and combat skills. Though still a trainee forest ranger, her Dendro vision gives her the ability to hold her own in many challenging situations. In battle, Kale focuses on casting her elemental skill, aiming to hit as many enemies as possible and generate the Sprout effect within the floral ring. This enables her teammates to deal greater damage through more elemental reactions. When her
Dang.
energy is full, Kale summons Kalinanba, whose Kalinanba zone deals continuous Dendro damage to the enemy. And
Okay,
creates a
yeah,
fertile ground
another
for elemental
really useful
reactions.
character, it
By
seems.
coordinating her teammates,
Most of these
the zone can be
characters, like,
extended and
they're pretty
exploited
good.
long enough to root out every last one.
It seems like they all have just really awesome special things about them.
Growth means different things to different people. Some simply wish to grow up in peace, while others pursue loftier goals. As for Kale, she believes that overcoming her past is a necessary step on the long journey to the future she pursues. This is wise, for to overcome is to move forward, not to wallow endlessly in the past. Pity that my former travel companion, for all their years of rumination, lacks Kale's clarity on this. Or perhaps some situations are simply too complex to be resolved by good intentions and honest effort alone.
Okay, not a bad trailer at all. All right, this one is for Dory.
I first met Dory long before she was the infinitely resourceful merchant that you know today, but I could already see that her adorable face was simply brimming with confident determination. Such focus, such passion. Now what kind of grand sorceress would I be if I didn't offer her just a little assistance? I dare say my instincts were right on the Mora. That little investment turned out to be one of the best I've ever made.
Come on, let's go. There's
Okay.
a fortune to be made.
A keen merchant like Dory wouldn't dream of turning away a perfectly good business deal just because the customer demands the impossible. No. So long as the price is right on your tall order, Lord Sangama Bey will personally make sure that all your worries are zapped away with the aid of her Electrovision. Any deals that pass through Dory's hands seem to magically yield extra returns. When Dory crafts character and weapon enhancement materials, she has a chance to recover some of the materials used, which can be set aside for emergencies. Dory's normal attack causes her genie to combo
Ooh.
up to 3 strikes that deal physical damage to enemies.
I like how she's
Hold
like
the attack button and the
sitting
genie drains stamina
on
over time
something.
to perform a continuous spinning attack on nearby enemies, dealing physical damage. When the spinning stops, the genie unleashes one final extra strong strike that launches
Okay.
smaller enemies within range. Dory's elemental
Her
skill
genie?
fires troubleshooter shots from her spirit warding lamp.
She's sitting on the
dealing
genie? Is that what
electro
it
damage
is?
to enemies. To sweeten the deal,
Okay.
when troubleshooter shots hit their target, 2 after-sales service rounds are produced that automatically track down their nearby enemies and deal extra electro damage just for good measure. After unlocking the talent Compound Interest, when the troubleshooter shots or after-sales service rounds from Dory's elemental skill hit enemies, Dory will restore elemental energy to herself based on her energy recharge rate. Each elemental skill valid for 1 energy recharge only. Energy can be redeemed only up to a certain limit. Terms and conditions apply.
Turns to get into the plot. Wow.
Magic lamp.
When Dory unleashes her elemental burst, she summons the genie from her lamp to provide her customers with a plethora of services. The genie connects to a nearby character, causing them to become affected by electro. The connected character will continuously restore HP based on Dory's max HP and will also steadily regenerate energy. When the connector between the genie and the character touches enemies, it will deal bouts of electro damage to them at set intervals. Only one genie can exist at one time. An astute merchant like Dory spots business opportunities everywhere she looks. She must always be ready to provide customers with the perfect solution at a moment's notice. After unlocking the talent An Eye for Gold, when a character connected to the genie triggers an electrocharged superconduct, overloaded, quicken, aggravate, hyperbloom, or an electro swirl or crystallize reaction, the cooldown of troubleshooter cannon is decreased.
Nice.
This effect can only be triggered once within a set period of time. Any merchant worth their Mora must have keen foresight, and Dory figures out just what her customers need before they've even realized themselves. That's why adventurers heading toward danger always seem to find a certain petite peddler waiting for them just where the going starts to get tough. After entering battle, Dory fires her troubleshooter shots to deal electro damage to enemies, with the after-sales service rounds following up after the initial delivery. When her energy is full, Dory summons forth the genie within the lamp to provide support to her teammates. The genie can connect to a nearby character, causing them to regenerate energy and restore HP. By moving the character's position, the connection with the genie can be adjusted, dealing electro damage to enemies while offering customers a little extra bang for their buck.
Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all.
I've traveled all over the world, met countless people, and helped plenty of them along the way. But Dory is one of the very few who still keeps in touch. I'm
Aw.
not interested in her paying me back, but I do admire her bold and daring mercantile methods. Doing business is just like adventuring and inventing. You must go big or go home. You mustn't be skittish and easily deterred. So for my purposes, Dory is a superb partner, and I am only too delighted to place the most ingenious of my personal inventions into her capable hands. An old astrologist friend of mine always harps on about the consequences of handing off these kinds of items, but nothing has come of it yet, so we'll continue business as normal.
All right, another good video for sure. All right, this one is for Sino.
Many in
Sino is one of
Sumeru
my
make it their
favorites so
life's
far.
goal to be a scholar, some for the pursuit of truth and knowledge.
I don't have him
But there
unlocked,
are
but man,
also
he just
those
looks
who
like an
have
awesome character.
Other intentions. After all, if you find a niche research topic and manage to secure academia funding, you're set for life. But if this sounds too good to be true, that's because it usually is. The academia is a millennia-old institution, and those working to ensure its continued longevity have zero tolerance for those trying to exploit it.
Very nice.
Who's our next target?
Man, yeah, Sino
The
just
favor
looks
of
so
the
cool.
gods enables Sino to manipulate the electro element and to summon a divine spirit to aid him in the cause of delivering justice. The General Mahamatra gained his formidable reputation not through empty posturing, but by tracking down wayward scholars and bringing them to justice. And
Oh.
because of his tracking prowess, these trips often end up more bountiful than expected.
Nice.
Sino gains increased rewards when dispatched on a 20-hour expedition within Sumeru.
Ooh.
Sino's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes with his polearm, dealing
Nice.
physical damage. Using his charged attack, Sino consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way. Cast Sino's elemental skill to perform a high-speed dash, dealing electro damage to enemies in his path.
Through me, justice is served.
Oh man, that is
Sino's
so
elemental
sick,
burst summons a
dude.
divine spirit to possess him. He morphs into the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer, causing damage dealt by his normal, charged, and plunging attacks to
Oh.
be converted to electro damage that
That's
cannot
so
be overridden.
cool.
In this state, Sino's elemental mastery and resistance to interruption are increased. and he
Nice.
gains immunity to damage dealt by electro-charged reactions.
Oh, of course,
The
of course.
Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state ends after a set duration, or when Sino leaves the field. When Sino is in the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, his elemental skill changes, instead unleashing a Mortuary Rite, which deals thunderous AoE electro damage and extends the duration of Pact-Sworn Path Clearer. Once the General Mahamatra has you in his sights, the best option is to admit your guilt. Otherwise, you will find yourself the target of his relentless pursuit. After unlocking the talent Featherfall Judgment, when Sino is in the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, he will intermittently enter the Endseer state.
Oh.
If he casts his elemental skill
Oh.
while in this state, he will activate the Judication effect, increasing the damage of this elemental skill and firing off 3 Duststalker bolts that
Man.
deal electro damage.
Oh, that's cool.
After unlocking the talent Authority over the 9 Bows, damage dealt by Sino's normal attack and Duststalker bolts while in the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state is increased based on Sino's elemental mastery. Break the Academia Code at your peril, for as are Sino's jokes, so too is his judgment, no laughing matter. Sino starts battle by casting his elemental skill, dealing electro damage to enemies and building up elemental energy. When his energy is full, he unleashes his elemental burst to enter the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, then deals electro damage to enemies with normal attacks, and his special elemental skill, Mortuary Rite. By
Man,
strategically
this looks
using
like such an
Mortuary
awesome
Rite,
character,
he
in
not
my
only
opinion.
extends the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, but also triggers the Judication effect to fire off Duststalker bolts and deliver final judgment upon the guilty.
Oh, man.
In my travels across Tevat, I've heard people say that curiosity was mankind's original sin. Perhaps everyone has the impulse to explore the deep secrets of the world, but only scholars can truly fulfill such ambitions. Sino can relate to some degree. Placing the mysteries of the universe before scholars with a burning desire for knowledge would be like placing a dragon-themed deck from Genius Invocation TCG in front of him. Both are irresistible temptations. Perhaps the Academia established the Matra not principally to punish wayward scholars, but rather to protect them. because the gravest crimes committed in the name of wisdom may be beyond the Matra's ability to punish.
Man, one of the best ones yet. Okay,
In
this
the
one is for
eyes of many
Candace.
adventurers, merchants, and even mercenaries, Aru Village is the only safe haven in an otherwise treacherous desert. Though far from prosperous, it provides ample food and water to all who come here in need, as well as a bed for the night. On one condition: do not disturb the peace.
Oh man,
Stay close.
Candace also looks like a very awesome
As the sworn
character.
protector of Aru Village, Candace is highly adept with her shield and spear. With the aid of her hydrovision, she can fend off the strongest of storms and the fiercest of foes. Life is harsh in the hot and arid desert. Strength and endurance are the key to survival for those who dwell here. When Candace is in the party, the active character benefits from reduced stamina consumption from climbing.
Man, that's useful in so many cases.
Candace's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes with her polearm, dealing physical damage. Using her charged attack, Candace consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way. Tap Candace's elemental skill to perform a swift shield strike, dealing hydro damage to enemies in front. Hold her elemental skill, and she raises the shield to block attacks from nearby enemies. The shield absorbs damage based on her max HP and offers extra protection against hydro damage. The shield can remain until Candace finishes casting her elemental skill. After holding the skill for a fixed duration, Candace will finish charging her attack. Then, when the skill is released, its duration expires or the shield is broken, she performs a forward leaping strike that deals hydro damage. After unlocking the talent Aegis of Crossed Arrows, if Candace is hit while holding her elemental skill, she instantly finishes charging.
Oh man, see, that's
We
awesome.
shall prevail.
Wagtail's
When Candace
tied.
unleashes her elemental burst, she holds her weapon high to summon Divine Assistance, which deals AoE hydro damage based on her max HP,
Oh.
and continuously grants
I feel like
the
a lot
prayer
of
the
things are
Crimson
based
Crown
off the
stage to
character's
active
HP.
character. In this state, when a character's normal attack deals elemental damage to an enemy, the damage dealt is increased.
Ooh, I see that.
Switching characters unleashes a rippling wave attack, dealing hydro damage to nearby enemies. This can only be triggered a limited number of times during Prayer of the Crimson Crown's duration.
Oh man.
Additionally, characters wielding a sword, claymore, or polearm gain a hydro infusion while Prayer of the Crimson Crown is in effect. After unlocking the talent Celestial Dome of Sand, when a character under the effect of Prayer of the Crimson Crown deals elemental damage with a normal attack, damage dealt is increased based on Candace's max HP.
Okay, okay.
Candace is a kind soul who is only too happy to stow her weapon when not needed, but anyone who mistakes her good nature for weakness and fails to respect the customs of Aru Village should prepare to face the consequences.
Hank.
When battle commences, Candace comes to the defense of the party, using her elemental skill to block the enemy's attack and perform a counterattack.
Oh, see, that's so
When
sick,
energy is
dude.
full, she casts her elemental burst to deal AoE hydro damage and boost her teammates' normal attacks with the Prayer of the Crimson Crown status, then joins them in removing the unruly visitors from Aru Village for good. There are many rumors about the village guardian with the one golden eye. They say that the sands are her spies, the storm winds are her servants, the blood of King Deshret flows in her veins, and that even the strongest of foes must yield at her command.
She's an awesome character for sure.
People who have lost their guardian deity often display the greatest interest in the gods, but having never seen a god with their own eyes, the far-fetched products of their naive imaginations are poor substitutes for reality. Yet despite being the subject of these fanciful rumors,
That is sick. Whatever that
Candace
is out there
herself
is
takes
sick.
a much more sober view of things. A shield is but a tool, a polearm but a weapon, and what matters most is not the divine power a weapon contains, but the determination of the one who wields it.
That was amazing. That was a really good trailer. Or video, I should say. Okay, this one is for
To the people
Nilou.
of Sumeru, who are accustomed to receiving concrete information from the Akasha, the arts are an abstract and intangible concept. What constitutes good art? Is there a way to quantify its value? These questions leave even the academia's most esteemed scholars at a loss. But to Nilou, art is the simplest and purest thing in the world. There is no barrier to entry, and everyone can appreciate its beauty.
Where are we dancing today?
Though Nilou's dancing may appear delicate, there is measured strength behind every step. Nilou integrates swordplay with agile footwork as she waltzes with the water to the aid of her allies. Dancing requires not only grace, but physical endurance as well. That
Okay.
is why Nilou pays particular attention to her dietary intake. When Nilou achieves perfect cooking on dishes with adventure-related effects, she has a certain chance to double the product.
Okay.
Nilou's normal
wanna say there was
attack can
another one
combo
just
up to
like
3
that.
strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. When using her charged attack, Nilou consumes a certain amount of stamina to unleash a twirling strike, dealing physical damage. When she uses her elemental skill, Nilou enters a pirouette state, dealing hydro damage to nearby enemies based on her max HP. While in the pirouette state, using Nilou's normal attack or elemental skill triggers her sword dance stance, or whirling step stance, respectively, while damage she deals is converted to hydro damage that cannot be overridden and is treated as elemental skill damage. While the pirouette state is active, Nilou's third stance will end this state and trigger a different effect depending on the stance.
I see that.
If Nilou's final stance is Sword Dance, she unleashes a luminous illusion that inflicts hydro damage to enemies it hits, while also gaining the Lunar Prayer effect. While Lunar Prayer is active, Nilou's normal attack is converted to a Sword Dance, and her final hit will unleash a luminous illusion. If Nilou's final stance is Whirling Steps, she unleashes a whirling water wheel that deals AoE hydro
Yeah,
damage.
see, that part is cool. I like
Also,
that.
a
I like that.
tranquility aura is created that follows your active character and applies
Oh.
the wet status to enemies in range. Nilou cannot perform charged attacks while the pirouette or lunar prayer status is active. Leaving the battlefield will remove the status.
Oh.
After unlocking the talent Court of Dancing Petals, if the party consists exclusively of Dendro and Hydro characters, including at least one of each, the third stance of Nilou's elemental skill, when executed, will confer the Golden Chalice's bounty effect on all nearby characters for a
Oh.
limited time.
Okay.
When a character under the effects of Golden Chalice's bounty is hit by Dendro attack, the elemental mastery of all nearby characters is increased for a certain time. Additionally, triggering a Bloom reaction will produce a Bountiful Core instead of a Dendro Core. The Bountiful Core's attack is treated as a post-Bloom Dendro Core attack, but it bursts more quickly and has a larger AoE than the Dendro Core. Bountiful Cores cannot trigger Hyper Bloom or Burgeon reactions, and they share the same field limit as Dendro Cores.
Okay, okay.
Nilou's dancing style is the stuff of dreams, captivating her audience's hearts and bolstering their spirits. After unlocking the talent Dreamy Dance of Eons, Bountiful Cores triggered due to Golden Chalice's bounty deal increased damage based on how much of Nilou's max HP exceeds a given value. Bountiful Core damage can only be increased in this manner by up to a certain amount.
This dance is for you.
Ooh.
Nilou's elemental burst begins a dance of faraway dreams and melodic springs that causes a lotus of distant waters to bloom, dealing AoE hydro damage based on Nilou's max HP. Enemies hit by the elemental burst will sustain the lingering Eon effect, which deals hydro damage after a short delay. To Nilou, there is little difference between battle and dance, since both can be used to resolve one's troubles. Most of Nilou's combat is centered around her elemental skill. She freely dances between her two stances, with sword dance allowing her to continuously inflict hydro damage via lunar prayer, and whirling steps setting the stage for follow-up elemental reactions through the persistent tranquility aura effect. With the right
not bad
body
at all.
composition, Nilou's third stance during the performance of her elemental skill grants the Golden Chalice's bounty effect to her teammates. Triggering the bloom reaction while this effect is active spawns special bountiful cores that deal greater damage to enemies.
Dang.
When her elemental energy is full, Nilou can use her elemental burst to begin a dance of faraway dreams, dealing AoE hydro damage and applying the lingering Eon effect to any enemies hit. The lingering Eon follows up with a further attack after a short delay, ushering in the curtain call of Nilou's spectacular performance. I must stress that I am a warrior and in no way versed in the disciplines of song and dance. If anyone was expecting to hear my philosophical musings on these topics, I'm sorry to disappoint. But while I am no connoisseur, even I find myself moved once in a while by the sight of an extraordinary performance. Even for the nation of wisdom, citing the pursuit of rationality as a justification for refusing to acknowledge the comfort that an audience can find in the arts is sheer arrogance. When groups clash, or human ideals conflict with the rules of the world around them, disputes of this nature most often arise from the inability to tolerate the existence of that which is different from oneself.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, not a bad character at all. Okay, guys, that's how I'm going to end the video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit it with a like, man. It really helps out the channel here. And thank you to those of you who have already previously been liking the other videos and comment and all that good stuff. Man, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So comment down below. Let me know if you want to see me continue to watch these. Let me know which one of these was your favorite. Mine was probably Sino. There were some really, really good ones in here, but I think Sino was awesome. So let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite. And that's all I got for you, man. So I will see you in the next video. And do not forget, it's Orc Army for life.